Hey everyone, welcome back to Wizarding Alice. As you could probably tell from the title of this video, I'm sick, yay! So I thought, let's just make this a really different video. I'm just gonna sit because there's no way I could film a proper video for this week. It's not happening, but I didn't want to not post, so this is what we've got. So you will see my drink a fair few times. This is not a Diet Coke sponsorship. It's just cold things are really the only thing helping my throat at the moment. So the Diet Coke's what we've got. It's actually pretty lucky. I normally drink a fizzy drink like this, like Coke or Iron Brew or whatever, like once every couple of weeks, but we just so happened to stockpile them, so I've shoved them all in the fridge to get them really cold, and thank God, because it's the only thing getting me through, to be honest. Sponsor me if you want Diet Coke. You're destroying my teeth already, may as well make it worth my while. You could pay me to afford new teeth. Anyway, not only am I sick, I actually have COVID. Sickness of all sickness. Now, I want to do a bit of a disclaimer that you're going to get a lot of these coughs as well. I don't want people to think I'm like making light of COVID. Like, I'm really not. Like, I'm really not. I know how devastating it is and has been for people, but it's kind of how I cope with things. Like, I'm literally here on my own, completely on my own, feeling rubbish, dealing with COVID. So the only thing I can do is kind of laugh about it, because otherwise I'll cry, you know, it's laugh or cry. So if you're thinking I may be making light of it, I understand the seriousness of COVID, but it's just kind of how I deal with it, basically. So yeah, if you want proof, where are you? Interesting story. So I was away this weekend to Belfast on a trip. I went to the Game of Thrones exhibition, which was really cool. I don't know Game of Thrones, I haven't watched it. Should I watch it? But I had a fun time regardless. Anyway, the whole time I was there, I felt absolutely fine. Not a problem. Got very lucky. On the trip back, I started to feel like a little bit unwell, but not like, I didn't even like really mention that I was feeling unwell. It's just one of those things where like, oh, I'm obviously a bit tired from being on this trip. So then I started to develop a cough. And again, it wasn't like a really bad cough, but it was like a persistent, like every little while. And I was like, okay. But I was like, I'm not going to think anything of it. And I took a COVID test as soon as I got back, and it was negative. So I thought, okay, whatever. And then as the evening progressed, because we got in late afternoon, I felt worse and worse and worse. So I just went to bed, and I was like, I'm tired. I don't sleep great in hotels and things. So I was like, I'll go to bed. When in doubt, go to bed. So woke up the next morning, so we're now at Monday, and I felt awful. That was 100% my worst day. Luckily I wasn't at work because it was a long like Easter weekend, but I felt dreadful, like everything I'm feeling now, but like a billion times. So like the cough had actually gone at that point, which was weird. No cough at all, but it was all just like a really bad cold, like slightly fluey. My throat was killing me. I had a lot of tea, runny nose, pounding sore head. My whole body felt all prickly. I felt like that before when I've had really bad colds. It wasn't like an unfamiliar feeling, but I felt awful. I basically just didn't do a single thing that day. And I took COVID tests twice that day, and both came back negative. Literally just the at-home ones like these. Because I took one in the morning and one at night, because I've heard stories before of people testing negative in the morning and then positive at night. So I was like, I'll do two. Okay, fast forward to yesterday, which was the day after the day before I've just mentioned, and I felt a little bit better yesterday. It was my first day back at work, but I still felt pretty rubbish, and I'd completely lost my voice, and the cough had started to come back again, but again, just that kind of like every now and again. But I was at work, but I just kept my camera off for all the meetings. I started to feel worse and worse as the day went on. And then my meetings, I didn't have any more meetings after 2, so I was like, I finished work at 4, so I was like, you know what, I'll just sit here and have my laptop on me. I told all my colleagues this and stuff, I wasn't like skiving, but I was like, I'll sit here with my laptop, and if things come up I need to deal with, I'll deal with it, but otherwise I'm just going to sit and relax and not like stress myself out. So that was quite nice. But I did start to feel pretty bad last night. My nose, this is probably TMI for some people, but if your nose running is TMI, then that's a you problem, not a me problem. I'm feeling sassy apparently when I'm unwell. My nose was streaming. I mean, I literally just had to keep tissues up like this because my nose was streaming so bad. Anyway, I actually slept quite well last night, which I haven't done recently, not COVID related. I've just had really bad sleep recently, but last night I just slept the whole night through. So that's definitely helped, and I think that's why I'm able to sit here and film a video today, is that I actually got some sleep. So now we're at today, and the nose running is still an issue, and the cough is awful. It's really developed into a full COVID cough. I mean, honestly, I got up and went into the kitchen before filming this to get this, and I came back and had a full-on coughing fit because of the exertion of walking to the kitchen. It reminds me, I've had pneumonia twice, it reminds me of that, but not as intense. Pneumonia was way worse, where every little thing you do makes you out of breath and makes you cough, like it's really affecting my lungs. And I did think that if I was going to get COVID, it probably would affect me a fair bit. Like, you know, some people just don't feel it at all. I thought I probably would, just because I've had pneumonia twice and I can feel day to day that my lungs aren't as good as they were before I had pneumonia. So I thought that's probably gonna affect me, and it has. I can feel it very much in my lungs, and I also just feel really sore and painful. It's awful. I felt really bad all day, so I did work today kind of like on and off, and I've taken tomorrow off, but I need to be back to work on Friday for something, so I'm just gonna try and relax tomorrow. Sorry, I should have stopped talking so I could cut out me blowing my nose. I'll do that in a minute, but yeah, so I'm gonna take tomorrow off, so I'm just relaxing this evening. I've ate a humongous Chinese. I can still taste and smell, not as well as I could before, but I think that's just because my nose is blocked, so that's obviously gonna prohibit some senses, but no, I'm good in that regard. So I've done that. I'm filming this. If I have the energy later, I'll go and edit it, but otherwise I might just do that tomorrow on my day off. I didn't even mention, so it was today that I took a COVID test. So I've been taking 2 every day, and they've all been coming back negative. So I wasn't even going to bother doing one today because I've been feeling unwell now for 4 days, and I thought it's probably going to have a come if it is COVID. I thought it's just a really bad cold. So I did the test, and normally, because I've known other people in my family have had COVID, the test, the T line, which means you've got it, comes up like immediately. Everyone else, it came up immediately, and mine didn't. It was white, and it just had the control line like really strong up the top there. So I was like, oh, okay, don't have it. I was like, that's the last one I'm going to do, because I don't want to keep wasting tests, especially now you have to pay for them in Scotland. They're not free anymore. So I just put it down. Normally I would just throw it away. Thank God I didn't. So this is like all those pregnancy stories of people who go and get it from the bin. But yeah, so then I went back into the kitchen a while later where I'd left it, and the line was there. So there's a lesson to you. Keep your COVID tests out for a little while. Don't just throw them away like I do. So yeah, I was quite shocked, to say the least, because obviously I'm gonna have to lean back. It's been 3 years, 3 years since COVID existed, and I've never had it. And I do test quite regularly as well. And it sounds stupid now, but I thought I was immune. I really did, because like my dad had COVID way back, because he works in healthcare. He got it like way before vaccines were even a thing, and he isolated from us, but I didn't get it. And then he got it a second time. This was still like a good, like a year and a half ago, but you know, more recent. And we had a better understanding of COVID, and we'd all had our vaccines, so he didn't isolate. He just lived in the house with us, and I didn't get it. And then my mum got it fairly recently, and she didn't isolate. We all just lived in the house. I could literally sit on the sofa with her, and I didn't get it. So I thought I must be immune. We always joked that I had like these special genes or whatever that meant I couldn't get COVID, and here we are. So only one member of my family hasn't had COVID yet, so we'll see. So yeah, so here I am. That was a long story, but I'm ill. I didn't have time to film a video or I didn't have the energy to film a proper video. Bear in mind, I film videos significantly far in advance. So this is like Easter weekend, basically, that I'm filming this. So middle of April, you're probably going to see this in May. So when you're watching this, I will not have COVID anymore. So just something to keep in mind. But I like to keep up that schedule, so I didn't want to miss filming this weekend, if that makes sense. I don't know, I'm type A, it makes sense to me. Oh jeez, now see, I'm so not used to drinking these, it gives me hiccups. It's a little, I don't know, I was doing something to Diet Coke. I don't know, I've gone insane. Not only am I ill, but I'm here on my own, so kind of got a bit stir crazy as well. But obviously work's been keeping me sort of fairly busy. I haven't had the brain space to really do anything properly at work. I'm just kind of I'm just barely keeping above the surface. I'm not trying to do anything extra. I'm just doing what needs to be done. But obviously I'm off tomorrow, and I don't just want to sit all day, because I get really bored and kind of depressed, when you're just not feeling well and you're sitting there, but I don't really have the energy to do anything. So I might, if I feel well enough, I might play The Sims a bit. And I've been watching Wellington Paranormal for the first time. I can't believe I haven't watched it yet, because I love What We Do in the Shadows. If you've seen that film, there's the 2 police officers that come in. This is a spin-off show about them, and it's perfect. I love mockumentaries. I love people pretending to be police officers and talking in that police speak. I just think it's so funny. And that's quite good, because each episode's only 20 minutes long. I'm just watching it on Sky. About 6 episodes a season, so they're real mini series. So I just fly through a series a day. So that's been quite nice. It's really funny, light-hearted, so that's been good. Don't know what I'm going to do when I get through that, because I'll probably finish it all tomorrow. I for a long time wanted to complete watching the Pirates of the Caribbean series, because I've never seen all the films. I've seen the first 2, 3 quite a few times, and never saw any after that. So I might do that. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it kind of sucks, because I've been really good at keeping up. I've started to teach myself Spanish, and I was doing really well with that. I did a combination of, I would do about 15 minutes of Duolingo every day, and then we'd do about 15 minutes of self-study, and I've got all these flashcards, and I was doing really well. I felt like I was making progress and really understanding and memorizing the language. And then obviously I brought the cards with me and did a little bit while I was in Belfast, but since I've been back, I can't do it. And that's not me trying to make an excuse to not oh sorry, that was a really gross sniff, to not study it. I want to do it every day. I enjoy it, which is amazing, because I've never ever had a joy at learning a language. It was just never my cup of tea at school. I always just thought I was really bad at it. And looking at it now, I think I just wasn't in the headspace for it, and I didn't view it as a priority, when obviously I know I should have, but I do now. I think learning a second language is important. So yeah, but it sucks. I really don't have the brain energy. I can't sit and read something at work. I could barely read an email. It took me ages. And I could barely process information as well. At meetings, it was really embarrassing. I was having to tell people to tell me things 3 or 4 times for it to process in my head. So I've not been doing my Spanish the past 4 or 5 days. My Duolingo streak is gone. Anyone who's into Duolingo will appreciate my pain that my streak has disappeared. But I am keen to get back to it, but I suppose I'm just a little bit worried that I'll have basically forgotten everything. But what can you do? I'm not going to force myself to do it. I just don't think it would be worth the pain. And I've also been trying to get into exercise. So if you don't know much about me, which you won't, I've not been doing YouTube very long, I've gained quite a significant amount of weight over the past couple of years being at home. I'd like to say the reason was being at home, but I was starting to gain weight before that as well. It just so happened that it got really bad during the pandemic. So I'm not causing a lot of stress on myself to lose weight. I'm just hoping to make sort of subtle lifestyle changes, and a part of that was I did the Conqueror challenges. I've started them and I was loving it, just as a way to motivate myself to do consistent exercise. So if you don't know, and again, this is not an ad or a sponsorship or anything, but the Conqueror, you can Google it, is a series of challenges you can do as a company. And so, for example, I've started with the Angkor Wat challenge. It's £30 to sign up, but that basically just pays for your medal, and it's a virtual fitness event. So anytime you do any kind of distance, so it could be swimming, rowing, cycling, walking, running, like what cartwheels, whatever you want to do, dog walking, you log the distance that you did in it, and it moves you along the, for example, in my case, the Angkor Wat sort of trail. It could take you up Everest. You can do a million things. And it sends you postcards, and you can see on Street View where exactly you would be, and there's like a really nice community. And at the end you get a banging medal. Like, look them up, like the medal is really cool. And I was doing really well with that, and obviously like I said, I can barely walk to the kitchen, like seriously. Oh no, I need to cover myself up. I don't want you seeing all that. And obviously I've not done it the past couple of days, so I'm worried about falling behind. It doesn't actually matter if you fall behind. Like, it's quite a chilled out thing. Like, if you say you want it to take 3 weeks and it takes like 2 years, like, that's fine, you know what I mean? It's just more for your own motivation. But I was doing really well with it, and I'm getting quite close to the end, so it's just really annoying. But I want to be quite honest with it. I don't just count steps I take in general around the house. It needs to be like active, focused exercise that I count. I mostly just do walks, so that's a bit disappointing. I'm excited to get back into that. So like I say, the Angkor Wat's the first one I'm doing. That's the very smallest distance challenge you can do. It's like 20 miles or something like that. And I've also, just as a little treat to myself to cheer myself up, I've just signed myself onto the Everest one, which is a fair bit longer, as you can imagine, and it's the equivalent of walking up Everest, except obviously in a flat thing like that. But we actually have like a fitness bike in the garage, so I'm actually thinking I might do the Everest one on the bike to try and get me back into that, because my thinking is it's getting warmer now, spring going into summer, so I could do it each morning. I could keep the garage door open, get a nice breeze going. It'll be nice and light. It won't be dark anymore in the mornings, so that might be quite nice. But that's something I'm looking forward to once I'm feeling better. That's why I bought it for myself. So I'll maybe log my walking miles for Angkor Wat and my cycling miles for Everest, but we'll see. I know it doesn't make much sense to cycle Everest, but whatever. But it is nice that, like, that's something I'm actively looking forward to, and I never would have really looked forward to exercise before, so that's nice. So I know, I appreciate that £30 per challenge is not, you know, it's not cheap for sure. You know, I have to think about doing it, but you know, if you've got that money to spare, I definitely recommend it, especially if you're doing a fair bit of distance anyway. You know, if you go swimming quite a lot, or you know, walk your dog every day, you know, you could easily rack up those hours or those miles. So yeah, I suppose this is a fairly good time for me to get sick, really, all things considered. Just got back from holiday. Got birthday celebrations this weekend that we're going to have a think about how they're going to work. But yeah, apart from that, it's just work. And then next weekend, so that's in like 10 or 11 days, I'm going to York, which is really exciting. There'll be a video out. You might have already seen it at this point. I don't even know what order things are gonna go up. Sorry, I'm never looking at the camera. I'm looking at myself because I look so ill. I look like a ghost. So I'll be able to go to that, which is great. It means, you know, you get close to holidays these days and you start to be a bit like, oh, because in Scotland now, as of Monday, you don't have to isolate anymore if you've got COVID. But I'm still isolating. Like, I was supposed to go to the theatre on Friday to see Waitress. I've never seen it before. It was a Christmas present, I believe. Get my birthday and Christmas mixed up, but I'm pretty sure it was Christmas. So obviously I'm pretty devastated about that. And I could technically go. It would be within the law for me to go, but it just doesn't feel right to be in such a confined space with all those people. It's not fair of me to go. So tomorrow I'll need to see if I can speak to them about getting like a refund or a voucher or something. Hopefully they'll understand. Some businesses you know, are nicer about it than others, so we'll see. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it from me and my little COVID stick. The only other thing is that's weird is my skin is totally broken out. I don't think you can really see the extent of it, but yeah, it's really bad as well, which is weird, but maybe that's just a consequence of not having been outside or eating fruits and vegetables. I think that's probably more likely to be it. But yeah, my well timed, my throat is really starting to hurt, and I definitely need to stop talking now, because this is more than I've talked all day, and I can definitely feel the effects. So yeah, sorry that this wasn't really like a super exciting video or anything, but hopefully you enjoyed it as a little chat, and if you're feeling well, please cherish it. And you know, when you're ill and you just think, I'm never going to take my health for granted again, so please cherish it. Go outside, kiss a plant. Bye.